Wonderful to be here. All right, our first Google Dev Day in Argentina. And we just kicked this off this week. This is the opening of 2011 Google Developer Days, and it opened here in South America. So congratulations to all of you all. So my name is James Whittake. I'm an engineering director. That means I build stuff. Me and all the people, well, let's be honest, the people who report to me build a lot of really cool stuff. And you're going to see a lot of it today. Our message, though, is real simple. The message that we're bringing to you at Google Developer Days is really simple. The web is open for business. And it needs you, the developers, not just us, Google, but a partnership between us to really make the web pop. Now the web, it's hard to pin down an age for the web. We could just try to do this real quick. 1990, that's as good a starting point as any. How many of you all had let's see, an email address in 1990? Okay, I'm seeing very few hands. How about a cell phone, mobile phone, 1990? Think back. Okay, I'm seeing hardly anything. Let me just level set this here. How many of you were born before 1990? Okay, all right. So 1990 seems like a pretty good starting point for all of this. Now, in 1990, there wasn't that much to the web. If you had an email address, there weren't many people to email. And chances are they were, 15 feet away from you at another desk. So there wasn't a whole lot to do. But thanks to mostly the development community, the web grew up really quickly. We, the industry, gave developers two tools: a text editor and a markup language. That was it. These were the tools that web developers had in this era of the static web. And still, cool things started to happen. We even had new words during this time. Hyperlink. Hypertext. We laugh now, but these were cool terms. You could put hyper in front of anything and it was just cool. But it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough because the developer community pushed it harder than it could take. We wanted more. We wanted the ability to have things more than just clicking on a link. We wanted to click on an image. We wanted to do things that the web wasn't ready to do. We wanted to run scripts. We wanted to have animations. We wanted to have dancing gophers. You remember the dancing gophers? One of the first things to dance on the web. And now, instead of simply sharing documents across computers, we were having interactive content for the first time. And now some really interesting things began to happen. Instead of just sharing, we were opening up the world's information to anybody with a computer. Now, during this time, so let's just say 1995, how many of you all had a mobile phone in 1995? Aha, the customer base is growing, isn't it? How many of you had an email address in 1995? Well, the customer base is getting larger still. But it wasn't enough. You wanted more. And the web developers continued to push the technology. You had new tools. You had some client-side animation. You had better scripting tools. And you used them to create even better web applications and websites. And now we're talking about running businesses on the web. In the late 90s and early 2000s, this is the time when businesses like Amazon and eBay were opening only on the web. No brick and mortar store. They were making money exclusively online. They were pleasing customers exclusively online. And the web, the more modern web as we know it now, began to grow up from this. The tools became more sophisticated. But again, they weren't enough. The software development community continued to push these further and further. Every time we came up with a new set of tools, we meaning the industry, software developers pushed them to their limits, found new ways to use them, and made greater demands on the infrastructure, on the development environments, and the web grew again. Now let's take 2000. How many of you all had mobile phones in 2000? And email addresses? The customer base just grew again, didn't it? It's an amazing thing about the world. It just keeps getting bigger. Every time you think you've seen a market, the market starts growing, new markets start emerging, and the customer base gets bigger. Now, we went from the enterprise web to web applications. And during this time, the early to mid-2000s, the line between the desktop and the web began to blur. What people used to do on the confines of their desk, on the confines of their computer, wired to the wall, they were now able to do in the cloud, on the web. Mobile got a lot better during this time too. I saw how many hands went up. Mobile got big. We could take the web with us wherever we go. The web's available in shopping malls, hotel lobbies, forests. Not only are the web users growing, the customer base growing, they're able to access our applications, your applications, anywhere they want. Right. We are now approaching an always-on, consume anywhere, World Wide Web. And the true promise of it is really growing. So let's go one more. Let's say 2010, last year. How many people had an email address in 2010? Okay, it was all of you. How many people had a mobile phone? Keep your hands up, mobile phone. Now, keep your hand up if it's a smartphone. Now look around you. Everyone, take a look around you. Keep your hands up and look around you. This is a slice of the customer base. Everyone in this room with their hands up is a customer. Everyone in this room is a user. Everyone in this room is someone you want your application in their hands, making them happy. And this is a slice of the world. This is a slice of the planet. These things are growing. The customer base is growing. And as we move into what's next, you've got to see the future with a ton of excitement. The tools are getting much better. And as Google, we're here to talk to you about 4 specific tools. We want to talk to you about Chrome, and we're not going to talk about what's past. We're going to talk about what's next. Today, you are going to see some of the newest, latest, coolest features of one of the most modern, powerful browsers on the planet. And there's a whole track dedicated to Chrome. And for you web developers out there, I think you're going to really get excited about what you see. You're going to see snippets of it in this keynote. I'm going to have my friend Pete LePage come up and give some demos that I think are going to make you think again about those web applications that you're writing and how you can bring new technology to them. And make you think again about those customers that you've been pleasing and new ways for you to make them just say, wow, when they see your stuff. Android. Android is becoming a mobile platform that has a worldwide customer base. And we're going to be showing you the newest, latest, coolest things that you can expect as an Android developer. We have an entire track on Android that you guys can go and see, again, the newest, latest, coolest stuff in our mobile platform. There's 2 more things that you're going to be hearing from a lot today. Cloud, App Engine, and other things that you probably don't think of as Google, because we are beginning to release an entire cloud platform. And we have some really exciting announcements to make here. And we're going to be underscoring some of the things that we introduced at Google I/O, and we have a track on cloud and what you can do with it. Because we want you guys to be focused on innovation. We want you to be focused on the problems you're trying to solve and not the infrastructure that it takes to solve them. We're going to try to take away the boring infrastructure pieces and loose your creativity on the applications that you're writing. So cloud's going to be a big focus of this. And then finally, social. My friend Timothy Jordan is going to be joining me on stage to show you some of the new ways, the new integration points we have with Google+, and what you can do to really light up your applications with the widgets we have available for Google+. So this is what we need from you, your applications. Your mobile applications, your web applications, all the ideas you have to wow your customers, to make users take notice of your applications, and to build businesses, that's what we want from you. So challenge us. There's lots of us here, lots of Googlers, lots of developers from around the company in all 4 of these areas who are going to be here to answer your questions and take your demands as well. Throughout the history of the web, you guys have pushed us harder. Every time we think we've developed cool technology, you push it in ways that we just can't predict. That's what's nice about being a platform vendor. We're not responsible for the innovation. We're responsible for making you guys more innovative. And that's what Google Developer Days are about. We're going to show you all the latest stuff, take it and innovate and make people just say, wow, when they see your stuff. The web is open for business. Now, let's have a preview of some of these things. We're going to start with Android. So we have 4 tracks that will underscore the fact that the web is open for business. The first is Android. Who loves the mascot? Seriously. I do. There are 4 billion phones worldwide. 4 billion mobile phones. 4 billion with a B. That's a lot of people with technology in their hand. That's a lot of customers. This is a big market. And the form factors are increasing. We have smartphones in many, many varieties. We have tablets in many varieties. And the numbers of things you can do with these platforms are growing. In fact, there are 150 million Android devices worldwide. 150 million. How many of you would like to have 150 million people using your mobile applications? It's possible. We have 39 OEMs building these devices, beautiful devices. We have 231 different carriers who supply plans for customers using these devices. And these devices exist in 123 different countries around this planet. We're working on the whole moon thing. We'll be there. Just give us some time. The daily Android activations are increasing as well. From February 2010, when we had 60,000 activations daily, these are daily activations. People acquiring Android phones, devices, and turning them on. That number increased by a factor of 5 over a short 8 months. 300,000 daily activations, mind you. And it more than doubled again over another 8 months to 550,000. Now, what about apps? People having phones is one thing, but are they using them the way you want them to be used? It's difficult to delight a customer who's not downloading your app. When we first started the Android marketplace, it took 20 months to get to 1 billion app downloads. 1 billion. In the next 5 months, that number doubled to 2 billion. In less than 5 months later, we added another billion. And as of July 2011, 2 months ago, the number stands at 6 billion. 6 billion app downloads from the Android marketplace. There's customers out there. They have the phones and they're using them in the ways that software developers want to see them being used. There's 250,000 applications in the Android marketplace available for download. We hope you have 1 in there, 2, 3. We hope you have 10. In fact, we hope you have one of those, the number, whether it's 250,000, 200,000, 300,000, what we want you guys to do is develop one of the ones that everyone must have. 250,000 is a nice number, but the top 1,000, the coolest 1,000, to be there, that is a wonderful thing, because we want the apps that are used every single day. We keep pushing it, and we want you to keep pushing it. Honeycomb, Gingerbread, two of the latest operating systems that we've pushed. An ice cream sandwich, which was announced at Google I/O and is forthcoming. We are continuing to innovate on the platform. We are continuing to find new ways to allow you guys to do the things that you want to do faster, more secure, better, and more beautiful. All of these things are important. So our innovation on the platform is one thing. We're challenging you to innovate on the application side of this. Use these new features. Use these latest operating systems. We want a partnership from the platform folks and the application development folks that allows us all to make our customers turn on these devices, launch our applications, and just be blown away. Good isn't the goal here. Brilliant is the goal here. So, the phones are out there. The applications are out there. The users are out there. They're using these phones. How do you get to them? You've got a great idea. You want to get it out there. You want to get it in front of your customers. You want to delight them. You'd like to build businesses off of this. Well, we understand this and we're working on this problem as well. We call this monetization, marketing, and merchandising, and we're looking for new opportunities to supply you all with ways to connect to your customers. So the first is moving the shopping experience from the mobile device to the web. And we've done this now. The Android Marketplace is available from your desktop, from your laptop, from your Chromebook. You can sit in the comfort of your living room. You can sit in your airport. You can sit in your forest. You laugh. Seattle, Washington has nearly 100% cell coverage in our forest. It's a wonderful thing, especially if you're lost. It's a really wonderful thing. And so this is a new way for people to shop, a new way for people to access. It's a more comfortable way for them to download applications in volume, and then your phone can pick them up when it's turned on. Another thing we're doing is trying to push people to the Android Marketplace so that they have a better shopping experience. So movies, books, other sorts of content are coming to the Android Marketplace as fast as we can get them up there, so that there's more reason for people to go and shop and more opportunities for them to find the application that you want them to find, which is yours. And merchandising. We've come up with new ways of allowing you to have screen real estate to interact with your customers in other ways, promotions, etc. There's screen real estate now that you can communicate with your customer and show them. Give another opportunity for you to explain the value proposition. And you'll see all of these in the talks this afternoon and tomorrow morning on Android. Now, once you get these customers to your platform, what are they doing? We're supplying new reporting mechanisms for you to figure out who's using your applications, where they are, what sort of devices that they're on, so you can understand them better and delight them more. If you understand that they're on the honeycomb as opposed to gingerbread, you may be able to use that to your advantage. You understand what customers they are, you can work on marketing in those particular markets. So all the information that we have available, we're doing our best to get it into your hands so that you can better connect to your customers and delight them. Now, shopping has been limited in the past. There have been only a certain number of countries that had access to download these. We've been working on this. So take a snapshot of this graph in your head and look at it in 2011. This has expanded a lot. The customers are out there in more and more places. And there's a particular spot there, as near to the South Pole as I've ever been. Argentina was also added this year. So give yourselves a round of applause. Welcome to the Android Marketplace, Argentina. Now, you've got customers. You're connecting with them in new and wonderful ways. How do you make money on this? Is that an interesting thing in Argentina, or is it just an American thing? I'm just going to assume it is. We found that the more ways we have of signing people up, getting them to purchase the apps, the more ways that they do it, right? You give them a way to spend their money, and they accept it. And they spend their money. So in the beginning, there were credit cards, and you could buy an application with a credit card. That's the blue line. We made money that way. Then we added direct carrier billing. So this is real data from the US and Asia markets. And you can see in Asia, when we added direct carrier billing, the money that the application writers were making on credit cards continued its climb, and we had additional expenditures for direct carrier billing. And this is happening in all the markets that we're seeing. When you give people ways to spend their money, they spend it, and they enjoy it. It's convenient for them. They see something, they want it, and it's a faster way of them acquiring it. So we've added one more this year, which is in-app billing. So the ability to sell merchandise, online, virtual merchandise within your application. The ability to add features for extra cost. So if you look at this blue line, this is the growth in applications. The green line is the growth in revenue. So the applications are growing, but the revenue is growing faster. The amount of revenue developers are making isn't just because they're developing more applications, it's because there are more ways to monetize your existing applications. So this is a very encouraging curve for people who are interested in delighting customers and building a business based on that. This is what we call in America opportunity. Now, the later the operating system that users have installed on their device also seems to be having an impact on the applications that they have. The later version of the operating system, the newer version of the operating system, we're seeing more downloads of applications per device. And so this is also very encouraging as well. Google tries very hard to get customers on the latest devices. I'll talk about Chrome in a little while. Our goal is, is near 100% on the latest Chrome build as we can, and we work the same way with Android. We want them on the latest devices. It seems to be a nicer experience. This data shows they're enjoying their phones more, they're enjoying interacting with applications more, and we want to see that continue. So Android has an entire track dedicated to nothing but Android. There's speakers from around Google who know this platform better than anybody else on the planet. They're going to be demoing features of the Android operating system. They're going to be talking about what's now and what's coming up. They're going to be demoing features that in applications, in sample applications, that I think you're going to look at and say, wow, I want that in my application. My customers are going to be really enjoying these sorts of features. So if you're an Android developer, you've come to the right place. The web is open for business, and Android is becoming a major consumer point for the web. Now let's talk about Chrome. Is there any interest in the Chrome browser in Argentina? Actually, I'm going to show you some data that shows you that there is some serious interest in browsers that can run the latest apps. So let's talk about Chrome, which is our entry into this market. So this graph shows modern browsers. By modern browsers, we're talking about Chrome, the latest version of Internet Explorer, the latest versions of Firefox. Basically browsers that run HTML5 apps, and they're growing. That blue line at the bottom of this screen is worldwide growth of modern browsers, the percent of the market that is modern. That green line at the top is Argentina. Argentina, do you realize that you guys, from the basis of modern browsers installed and used in Argentina, you are nearly 2 times the rest of the world? 2 times! It never ceases to amaze me that people in the United States will refer to countries, other countries, as emerging markets. Emerging is what? Better than us? Emerging as a leader? Emerging to the top? This is amazing. You should be proud of yourselves. This is an incredibly technologically advanced country. Now, oh, I'm sorry, that was Chrome, wasn't it? That was Chrome. This is modern browsers. You're better than the rest of the world here as well. 70%, 70.1% of the browsers in Argentina are the latest, greatest HTML5 running browsing machines. Give yourselves another round of applause for that. We're beating the world pretty good here. Is it any wonder we have a Google Developer Day here? And some of the applications that you're building are making the top of our charts. These are icons from Argentine companies that are available, that are writing apps that are available in the Android marketplace now. And many of them, you go to the Android marketplace, you'll see them on the front page. So you're not just consuming the web, you're not just writing applications, you're writing some of the top applications. And this day and tomorrow is all about pushing that boundary further, showing you what it's going to take, the new features that we've integrated into Chrome that you can take advantage of to make your applications even better. Now this is a messy slide. But imagine this, imagine you're in Mountain View, California, standing in building 1950 of Google. This is a wall-sized graphic of the evolution of the web. Every time we ever bring a guest through this building, we stop and stare at it. And I've only showed you here the more recent years. The past years, if you could see the whole wall, you could see the whole thing. There's very little going on, right? There's a few browsers. Some of those browsers are no longer around. But look at the later years. Look at all this technology that is being consumed by web developers now. The rate of innovation that's happening online in 2011 is a greater rate of innovation than at any other time in the history of the web. When we say the web is open for business, we mean that in so many new and wonderful ways. And you're going to see a lot of features of Chrome that is going to allow you to take advantage of this latest technology and make your web applications even better. A lot of this is built around HTML5. And there's a lot of these funny icons that you're going to be seeing. We have lots of them available. There are icons for device access. These are WC3 icons. You don't need to know what they are because we're going to demo a few in a minute. Device access. The APIs and the integration points for device access have gotten a lot better. Speech and being able to control your microphone from the browser, be able to control other devices that are connected to the customer's machine from your browser are much better than they've ever been before. The offline story for Chrome is getting better than it's ever been before. You can use Gmail now offline. It no longer requires an internet connection to be able to work. And you can do that for your web application too. The APIs and the integration points are there so that you can develop offline story for your web application. But instead of talking about it any further, I'm going to invite my friend Pete LePage up here to show you some of these things firsthand. Pete?
Awesome.
Meet Argentina.
Hello, Argentina. Thank you guys so much. It's awesome to be here, and I want you guys to give yourselves another round of applause. It is absolutely fantastic. You guys have a big butt browser. Thank you. It's truly awesome to me. So I'm a developer advocate on the Chrome team, which means I get to go and work with people like you guys to create really great apps and websites and experiences, and to see a country that has so much of modern browser usage is just fantastic. So thank you again. I'm going to show you a couple of really neat demos that show off some of the great new functionality that HTML5 and Chrome has to offer. First one I want to pull up is All Is Not Lost from a band called OK Go. If you're familiar with OK Go, they did this song, All Is Not Lost, to donate money to the recovery efforts from the Japanese earthquake. And it's a really neat song, but they also created a really great video experience. Before we get into that, I want to show you a couple of little features that are going to be coming. I'm going to bring up the developer tools, and I just hit F12 on a PC or Command Option J on a Mac. You can also bring them up through the command bar. And I'm going to go and switch to Elements because I want to go and I want to grab this text box. Because I want to go and make a little modification to this. So I'm going to right-click on this, and I'm going to click on Add Attribute here. And I'm going to add an attribute, and I'm going to say X, WebKit. Helps if I can see what I'm typing. Let's zoom out here. X. There we go. There it is. WebKit -speech. And immediately you'll notice that a little microphone icon pops up there. Now you've probably seen this on your phone before, if you've got an Android phone, where you can push that little microphone and you can talk to your phone and it'll figure something out for you. Well, I'm going to do something a little bit brave, a little bit potentially dumb, and I'm going to do a live speech demo on stage. I did this a couple of days ago, and yeah, it didn't work so well. So we may get a fun little laugh out of this. Hola, Argentina. All right, well, that's not bad. You can now start talking to your web applications and make your user experience that much better. So if somebody wants to go and provide some text input, it's super easy for them to do that. Now I'm just going to close the development tools. We have a whole session on development tools being done by Paul Irish tomorrow. I highly recommend it because he is an absolute expert and he's going to show a lot of cool stuff there. So I'm just going to go click on this play message. Let's see if you know what, I'm going to skip it. I've already got it loaded over here, so I'm going to just click go, and we'll let this sucker load up, and let's have a look at this video. Now, that was all done using modern web technologies, post messages, Canvas, all sorts of new web technologies that really provide for a really awesome experience that are things that we've never really seen before. We've also got a whole bunch of really cool 3D stuff that's coming in. No longer do we have to deal with animations in 3D using some kind of plugin or other things. We can get photo galleries, slides. In fact, the entire slide deck that you've seen James presenting is an HTML5 web application. The things that you can build today with all those transitions and animations are really phenomenal. So you can get things like switching photos by going through and just doing 3D transitions, so that your experience for your users is so much better. They're feeling like, wow, these developers really see neat stuff and build beautiful things. Here's another example of one where complete just different transitions every time, and we get really beautiful 3D experiences. This is one that I thought was really neat because, you know, sometimes you only want to provide users a little bit of information. You want to let them really interact with it, because the great thing about the web is the interactivity. So you can go and move between different movie posters, and it shows different pieces so that you can click on more info. It'll take you off to the right place where you want to go. But how many people have played with WebGL? All right, a few. WebGL is a really cool new technology that's coming that gives us access to really be able to build much more powerful and much more graphically intense applications. This is a WebGL app. Little world, I can move my mouse around, I can move the ball, I can move around the water, and there we go. I can get waves going on the water. And then as I move in, you can see all around this and actually be able to like get the waves and all that, so you get the full physics effect. Finally, I want to talk about something called knackle. Knackle is the ability for us as developers to be able to write C and C++ code and have it work in the browser across all of the platforms. So you can imagine for things like really rich and intense games, or other applications that require direct hardware access, Knackle gives you that. How many people remember SimCity? Yeah, that's about what I thought. SimCity was probably my favorite game growing up. Well, now we can play SimCity in the browser. So here we go. Click this. Let me make this a little bit bigger for us so you can see it. There we go. So sure enough, SimCity. I can go in and I can start playing SimCity and actually go through and add some houses in here. I'm going to put in a couple houses. And you can go through and have really rich, awesome experiences that you've never been able to do before. Oh, I guess it's time to do the budget. So I'll just call that and keep moving on. Now, we've got a whole bunch of other really cool stuff. Later today, I'm going to be doing a session about all of the brand new stuff that's coming as part of HTML5. These are things that you can't play with yet, but you'll be able to play with really soon. I'd recommend coming to that. The other cool one that we've got going on is an offline session. So if you've got a really slow or not the most fast network, maybe, or it's dropping a lot of stuff, an offline session will be absolutely fantastic. So James, I want to pass it back over to you, but I'm going to hang out up here for a minute, because I got one more thing I want to show, if that's okay.
You have a surprise for us.
I think I got a little surprise.
All right, well, why don't you just stay here? You're always welcome, you know that.
Well, thank you, sir.
So, that was all in the browser.
All of that was in the browser.
There were no client-side animations that you have installed. That's HTML5 is really an amazing thing.
HTML5, CSS, and a little bit of JavaScript.
So if HTML5 was, say, to be put on a team, like a really good team, not just an ordinary team, would you say that HTML5 would be the Lionel Messi of the web?
I would say so.
You've got to be pretty good to wear one of these. Now, we're in Argentina. What do you think? HTML5, good enough for the national team? All right. Love it. Don't steal this like you did last time. All right. My shirt. Okay. So, Pete's not going to go anywhere. And Chrome Web Store. So, you develop these applications. Do we have a store, like the Android Marketplace, for Chrome? And the answer is that we do. We call it the Chrome Web Store. Hasn't been around for that long. I showed some data about it earlier. The idea behind the Chrome Web Store is that you can build really cool applications. You can put them on the web in a discoverable way. You don't have to worry about people just trying to find you on Google search or randomly coming across you. The Chrome Web Store is open for business, and it's a way for you to get your application recognized on the web. And so now, 3D.
Well, I think
this is your slide. This is not.
I think it is. I actually I snuck a little something in there last night.
You have something under there too.
I got something for you. I've got something here for me. And if you look under your seats, you might find something for you guys as well.
I think in some of the back rows, we didn't quite have enough to go around. So if you don't have one, we apologize.
All right. So can we switch back over to this computer if we can, please? All right. So not only are we really getting 3D to the browser as part of, just doing transitions and animations, but one of the things that's coming is real 3D that we can actually watch. movies and TV shows as part of the browser. So I have a little trailer here popped up for us. Let's have a look. And there should be some audio with this, guys.
Yeah, I'm sorry, we didn't have quite enough for the back few rows. This was more popular than we expected.
Can we get a little bit more volume on this? All right, I'm gonna, oh, there we go. Available to everybody. If you take these, awesome, very hot looking, I gotta say, looking out at everybody with these on, you all looked very cool. But if you take these, you can go and watch these videos and a lot more on YouTube today. Cool thing is, Chrome has hardware acceleration for 3D stuff coming. There's all sorts of great 3D available on the web, and it's just gonna the web is keep getting less and less flat, and we're gonna have a great web experience.
So thank you. The web is open for business and it's no longer flat. Thank you very much, Pete. Pete LePage. You can see more of Pete. He's giving a couple of talks. One this afternoon.
Yeah, so I've got two this afternoon, the HTML5, all the new stuff in HTML5. I'm also doing another one about how to build really great web applications, because the web really has changed. We don't have to build those plain, boring websites anymore. We've got the tools to build web applications that are going to change the way we and everybody else uses the web. So I'm really excited about that.
All right, thank you, Pete. So the Chrome Web Store, by the way, is virtually free. There's a $5 activation fee. You only have to pay one time. It's independent of platform. We don't care how you build your application. There's no, I'm going to pause for effect here. There's no approval process that requires you to wait to get your application. And we are not going to tie you into any specific advertising platform. What you do, it's your application. Shouldn't you be in charge of what to do with it? We believe so. Okay. So that was Android, open for business. That was Chrome, open for business and no longer flat. And now we move to the cloud. We have clouds above us. These big fluffy things are not croissants, I was told. These are clouds. So what we mean by cloud, from Google's perspective, is taking away the hard, boring work. to allow you, the web developer, to concentrate on innovation, to concentrate on perfecting your app, to concentrate on the functionality that really, isn't that the reason you get into web development in the first place? Not to provision web servers and to worry about spikes in traffic and what you have to do? Because in reality, web development today looks a lot like this. There's a lot of juggling that has to take place. You have to worry about the server, you have to worry about the client, you have to worry about communications. You have to worry, what if I'm successful? I'm going to have to stop, get more machines, provision more servers. We think all of that stuff web developers shouldn't have to worry about. We think web developers should worry about writing their application. And so we have a solution called App Engine that we think will rescue developers from having to worry about infrastructure at the expense of innovation. There are 150,000 applications that have currently been written and hosted with App Engine. 150,000. This isn't some new technology that's just come out that no one's used. This is a technology that 200,000 web developers have used. This is real technology. And the cool thing about this is we are moving this out of preview later this year, which means Google is committed to this. Service level agreements, uptime agreements, that you can take and build real applications and know that Google's got your back. Now, App Engine, when you talk about Google, you talk about a lot of customers on the web, a lot of people looking at our content. Google hosts some of the most viewed websites and web applications in the world. And App Engine applications have 1.5 billion page views per day. This puts App Engine apps in the top 10 of all Google properties. It's not easy to get on the Argentine national team. Thank you for allowing HTML5 to be there. It's not easy to get in the top 10 of Google, and App Engine is there. Now, App Engine cut its teeth on social and web games. This is a huge market. There's a lot of infrastructure involved in building your game. It's a lot harder than coming up with good game logic. And this is the community that has found this the most valuable initially. So there's a lot of opportunity out there for game developers that App Engine has already proven it's really good at. What we're seeing as the new momentum is App Engine apps in the enterprise. Businesses placing bets on App Engine in the cloud to be able to host the applications that will run those businesses and connect with customers in many different ways. And so this is a screen snap of some Eclipse plugins that allow you to interact with App Engine directly within your IDE. And then finally, the last thing I want to talk about is social. So closing out App Engine, we've got a lot of cloud-based talks today. And we have some of our best cloud developer advocates here to give those talks. And App Engine is one of the things that they're going to be talking about. There's others as well coming up. Google Storage, allowing you to store terabytes and terabytes of data. And not just store it, but do analysis on it as well. We're going to be introducing some technology that's forthcoming that was announced at Google I/O, like our prediction API, to allow you to take those terabytes of data and analyze them. Can you imagine, for example, running a SQL query on terabytes and terabytes of data? Does that kind of make you cringe just thinking about running SQL queries on terabytes and terabytes of data? You'll also hear today, if you go to the cloud track sessions, about a product that we're going to be releasing called BigQuery that allows you to do that fast and efficient, so that not only can we store big data, we can analyze big data and you can learn about your data in ways that weren't possible before. Things that you used to be able to do on small databases on your desktop, you can now do on very large data sets in the cloud. So we've talked about Android, we've talked about Chrome, we've talked about cloud. The last thing that we're going to talk about here at Google Developer Day in Argentina is social. The web is becoming more social. I'm not talking about social websites. I'm talking about the web being more social. So why is it that you can only be social when you're actually on a social website? Why can't you share across the web? You're doing email and you see something that you want to share. You're watching a YouTube video and you want to share it. Sharing is fundamentally broken on the web. It's hard. It might be easy within some small closed domain, but web-wide, it's very difficult. And so Google is attacking this problem in a way that we think is going to fix sharing on the web, to make it easy to share with your friends, to make it easy to share with other circles who might not be your friends. You kind of can imagine sharing some things with my friends that I would not want to share with my mom. And these things shouldn't be difficult. So we call this Google+. And Google+, we're pushing it hard in Argentina. It is available now. We'd like to sign all of you up. There's going to be information around the conference about this. And we hope you all become Google+ users today. So what we've done here is we've taken Google, the Google that you're used to, and we've added something really important to it. We've added you. We've added your identity. We've added your interests. And we think we can improve all of your web experiences by the web knowing who you are and what you're interested in. And that's what Google+ is all about. Now, Google+ began with something we call the +1 button. And I am going to have my friend, Timothy Jordan, join me on stage to give you a demo of the +1 button, realizing that this is just the start. This is just the start of sharing across the web and across web properties. What about developers? This is a nice little widget. You can put it on your websites, and we are working on widgets. We're going to be releasing some more, and we hope that we see these on your sites. But what about more broad-based sharing? What about Google+ for developers? Last Thursday, so 3 business days ago, we released the initial set of APIs for Google+. There is sharing APIs now available from Google for Google+. These are the public stream APIs. You can view, you can get people's public profile, you can view their public stream, you can consume their public stream, and interact with it. So these APIs are available, and we invite you to check those out. So this is what we call Plus Platform, and again, social is open for business. So we're at the end of the keynote. I've summarized some of the latest data and latest capabilities of Android, same with Chrome, cloud, and social. And that's what this day is all about. So we're all going to be around. I'm going to be here for the rest of the conference. You'll see me, I'm putting that jersey on, and I'm wearing it for the rest of the day, because I can't wait to put it. I have a lot of respect for the Argentine national team. I have a lot of respect for HTML5, and the combination of the two just sounds really awesome to me. So enjoy your day. Pick the tracks that you think are the most interesting. Feel free to bounce around between tracks. You don't have to commit yourself to one. And talk to us. We're all wearing these really cool Google Developer Day shirt. Stop us in the halls, ask us questions, challenge us, give us feature requests. Don't ask for dates of the stuff that's unreleased. We either don't know or can't tell you. But anything else that has to do with our technology, we would be really pleased to share with you. So on behalf of Google, welcome once again to Google Developer Days. And I want to just let you know, the web is not only open for business, the web is open for your business, Argentina. Thank you very much.